Hello Pisces, welcome to my YouTube channel. Kia ora koutou katoa. This is your monthly, your monthly read for January 2022, but it's actually like mid-month now that I'm recording this. So today is Monday the 17th of January 2022. So and we're one day away from the full moon energy, which you may be feeling expanding at the moment into Mercury. So we're going into Mercury, which you could find probably a little bit of things slow down a bit. So don't rush it. So you may need to relax some more. You may feel a little bit more tired. You may be feeling not wanting to run with things, and that's because Mercury is in process at the moment. So it is an amazing time to reflect. Process, revise things, review things as well with yourself, with work, with, there's the whole kit and caboodle that's going on there, Pisces. So they're just bringing through, that to start off with and to kick off with, because there may be something that's going on with you where you may be feeling like you're swimming up the current or against the current or upper current. Well, that too, against the grain or against the current at the moment, or things, or things maybe like you maybe feel like there's either a block, or there may be, you may be feeling like you're in the current, but things are like hitting you along the way there. And some of you may be feeling that like these are negative things, but I feel like on saying that, if you switch it around, so what I'm hearing is shifting your perspective around into, that may be, I need to address that. So and I could move out of the way, or maybe why didn't I see that coming as though. So there could be, things, and it may be that you've got a closed mind, or it may be that you're needing to shift your perspective about things or something like that. So and it's like so you may be thinking, okay, what the hell, I thought I'd process that as well. However, with Mercury coming up, there is, it's not a negative thing, and people can kind of like, oh no, but you probably will find that for a lot of yous that when Mercury's come out before in the past, you may find it's not as maybe not as challenging for you as it was in the past, over the last couple of years, maybe even over the last 5-6 years, and or even 10 years, whatever. There's a shift or a difference, and things are moving a little bit quickly in these last couple of years, as you will well know, but it's not necessarily a negative thing, is where I'm hearing with that. So on an emotional level, they're really, and there is, and on an intuitive level, you're probably feeling, seeing, sensing things a little bit more. When I say you may be a little bit more sensitive to it, a little bit more responsive to it, I'm hearing, because some of you are maybe more understanding or discerning, more so, and or taking action with it, basically. Through taking action, we're able to, and taking notice of what that feeling is, with that intuitiveness, when we feel when we got that feeling to that intuitive feeling to do something, say something, be somewhere, or whatever it is, and about something. It's, it may be that you are more responsive to it in the sense that acknowledging it, okay, and it may be coming. You may be noticing that more, and maybe a lot sharper, as per se. But they're talking about, and the more we take action with it or not and understand it, but it's taking notice of it, the better we get at discerning whether it is an emotion, our intuition, or whether that is something, an emotion, which is maybe, an emotion that is in alignment with of manifestation, or whatever the other word of magnetizing, or a positive one, and also, or something where in the emotion where it's like uplifting, or not uplifting, whether you may be like running away from something. Am I seeing this clearly? That sort of thing. So I feel like they're talking about you're able to discern, whether it's oh gosh, where they go, they're starting it. Hang on a moment. I've got like 3 different energies talking about in the background there. So I'm just going to like go back again. So we're doing a mind, body, spirit, soul flow with messages coming through from our guides, but also the energy of Pisces, of course, and also some light beings here, energies who are in, you know, with a team of them that work alongside me, and bringing through or encoding or downloading some energy into the space now, that the sacred space that we've created for this reading for you. So you may be feeling the energy just shifting right now as we're talking about that. So, and you may feel the energy, you know, just like being more centered and calm. So I feel like they've gone it this way, gone about it this way, it's just to let you know, you know, how quickly we can change our energy when we shift our perspective, and when we calm, when we take a few deep breaths and we center and focus ourselves, and things, you know, it feels a lot calmer. So they're talking about, you know, this is about you calming your and centering yourself, before you do anything, with some of the because I feel like some of you may have been like some of you may have been overreacting and or not interpreting what the emotion is about, or like that has been maybe happening around you lately, and especially to do with relationships with yourself and with others. So they're talking about being kinder to yourself, because this is what Mercury is all about, and reminding you at the moment, or us at the moment, about being kind to ourselves as we're processing some things that are happening around us, as we're making shifts and changes. And I'm hearing coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't, and why didn't I understand, and why didn't I see this, and you know, I should have done this, I could have done this or that, and you know, around situations in your life, whether they be in the past, in the recent past, or in the now, and going forward into the future. It's like I'm hearing all these things as, how can I make a change, how can I make a difference, what do I need to do with all, you know, not with a few things in your life at the moment, maybe not everything, but there's probably a few key, you know, things that are going on, or that are running around in your head at the moment, or in your emotions at the moment. So anyway, the first card that's come out, so I'm using the Archangel Oracle deck. They've jumped out at me last week as I started doing these mid-January 2022 readings. So anyway, like I say, we have a full moon energy that's coming tomorrow. So I follow our New Zealand calendar that's made for this part of the world. So tomorrow is the 18th, which is a full moon here, 17th in other parts of the world, and maybe the 19th in other parts of the world. So I'm going with this. So we're here in New Zealand. So wherever you're watching from the world, you just take what resonates with you, okay? So gifts from gods, Archangel Sandalphon. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. So there is something about that, obviously, but I do feel like there is probably something to do with matters of the heart here. The Three of Swords has come up. So, and I feel like you may not have been, there may be for some of you, so I'm hearing a bit of a message here about you speaking openly and clearly, communicating to different people in your life. There's probably 3 who you feel may have disappointed you in some way, and there may be some emotional entanglement there that you may be still holding on to and shifting in there, or there may be something for some of you that maybe you're in right now, and there may be something for some of you that you may be coming in. So they're just like you're letting you know that there is something there, whatever it is that's going on in your energy, in your mind especially. There's just to like not overthink it, okay? Just be, and there's a sense of release, and there's something coming together. But I feel this card is generally around a disappointment of the heart, a broken heart. But I feel like there's something like, you know, these gifts from God, that God's, you know, and the angels are saying, you know, there's something shifting within that. But also, you know, in these emotions, because the moon card here. So you could be going through with this full moon, and even have gone through with the new moon on the 3rd of this month, in January 2022. You may have felt some emotional stuff come up even then, and processing it. So this could take it to, you know, actually, you know, take it to another level. May not be exactly the same thing, but in the sense, and it may not necessarily, when they take it to another level, doesn't mean to say it's going to be like really super far out, friggin', you know, thing, but it, you know, challenging for you. But It may take it to another level in the sense of a deeper understanding as you allow yourself to delve just that little bit deeper or a lot more deeper, whatever it is for you, in order to like bring about divine order. Okay, because the next card here, that is Archangel Raguel. So everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlining order, which is where they're bringing through that, because it's like, in a way, working through our emotions is a really, you know, we've got these angels to help us, and it is a gift in the sense that we have the ability and the tools to help us move through, process it, in order to release what it is that does not serve us. Okay, so the Seven of Swords is like coming up, has come through here. So, you know, I feel like it's allowing you to, this is about you getting out of your head and stopping, because this card could be also about deceit. So there could have been some deceit with some of this energy here. It could be like you deceiving yourself in the sense that you may have well and truly overthought things. You might have taken things out of context, and so you may be going into this funny little space of beating you up, and you may have been seeing it as the timing of it back then is like, oh, well, I didn't really need this, and which is could be why there's some of this emotional, you know, feeling it in a way that is like a disappointment or that brokenheartedness in how you saw someone or felt someone or something that went on in your life, and that, or that could be like, you know, the way a person passed and that sort of thing, you know, a loved one just recently or in the distant past. It just depends, but whatever it is, there's an emotional connection here that is like, this is you. I feel like this is like watching what your emotions are like and being mindful, but connecting with them and figuring out what it is for you and processing that, because something is in divine order which is brought back in the past to help you. I feel like some things maybe in the last year or so as well, you know, to help you move through it. And you may not have seen it back then, but now you may be more wanting to see it, or not necessarily wanting, but wanting to for some of you, but needing to for others of you, to in order to help you shift things. So this Seven of Wands is also saying, you know, stop deceiving yourself as well. And, you know, there's a self-pity party, that sort of thing, and stopping and allowing your head to get in the way of you moving in a certain direction. The Queen of Pentacles is here because, you know, this is you in a way as well. There could be a female energy is around you as well. That may be an earth sign energy. There could be Virgo, Taurus, or a Capricorn energy there. But it could be like that bring you hopping into your that energy and grounding yourself, anchoring yourself in your and where you want to go and how you see yourself on that journey of becoming more successful or taking the next step, and, you know, acknowledging the success that you have achieved, not just in, you know, a financial or career sort of a manner, but also in your health and well-being, but in a family, that actually it is more there than what you think it is. Okay, so remember who you are, which is moving you into that space. It's about remembering who you are. And you may have been, with everything that's going on, like in the last 2 years and the year before in the past, is like discovering about remembering who you are. Archangel Michael is, you know, you are a powerful, loving and creative child of God. You are very loved. So it's remembering that stuff and bringing yourself into that, you know, that side of you, that stuff that's, you know, there within you, bringing it all out and sharing it with yourself and acknowledging that part of you, but also in allowing yourself to bring out that love and open your heart to love not just you, but all those around you, and, you know, whatever it is, dogs, cats, humans, friends, family, whatever, more. But it's like that, it's, I don't know, it's there's a different sense when we acknowledge it for ourselves and being more in love, you could say, but loving ourselves more in that sense, and, you know, and remembering those parts of us that maybe we've tucked away, and you know, and bringing that out more for not only you to see, feel, but for others as well. And this is like leading the way. So this Page of Cups, this is you also coming out. I feel like this is where they're going with that, with the Page of Cups, you know, going out and exploring and, you know, discovering you know, not just the old parts of you coming back, not just the new you, but the old parts coming back and refreshing you, updating that, adding to all that, that knowledge and that wisdom that's in there. Then we have the Four of Cups, because I feel like this is like moving out of that, that space of self-pity at sometimes, but seeing that more, and but also recognizing what actually is there, because there are, rather than what isn't there. So I feel like there's that sense of discovery. I'm noticing a book, but now he's looking, he's looking up and seeing something now. So something this is what they're saying, remembering who you are. What is, this cup in there that they're showing you that you have, and they're overcoming difficulties, because this will help you overcome. This is about you overcoming difficulties and seeing those parts of you that are there. Not just the good parts and not just the bad parts, but seeing both of them, because where there is shadow, there is light. Where there's darkness, there is light. Where there is shadow, there is light. There's bringing together, it's like when we're talking about the angels, they talk about the dark angels and the light angels. There's, they came from one space at some point, and there's about balance. So they're seeing the shadow and the light side of ourselves. It's like, okay, balance, basically. So, overcoming difficulties, Archangel Raguel, the worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting hang on a minute. And you are surmounting any previous challenges. So excuse me, I've got all these energies that are chat there, and now we're all trying to read. So the same thing. So any previous, challenges. So which is where they're talking about, it's like there is such an amazing journey that you've been through. So there's that overcoming difficulties, and you are, and you have. And and with whatever it is that you've been processing in the past. So I feel like they're saying, recognize that, understand that, acknowledge that, and accept that you actually have, are grounded in most of the time, but have been consciously aware of it. But on saying that, and there is success there. So with this one, and the Magician has come through, and there's like you have all the ingredients to help you move through, past, around, whatever, up, down, whatever direction that you choose to see that as, to understand what it is yours and what it is that isn't yours, in order to create your own magic, because you are the magician. And so I feel like there's a new journey as you overcome some of these difficulties, and you're seeing that, and and going on an adventure and creating magic and discovering, because I feel like this is discovering. It's not like this is creating your own magic. So there is that sense of discovery and adventure into moving into the past. So the Page of Swords here is like, of your being in your own truth. What is your truth? What in discovering you and being honest and truthful to yourself, and and understanding yourself and communicating to yourself better, I'm hearing, and also to others. There's something about a shift in that, and how you're thinking, being, doing, knowing, those sorts of things about you, and that shift in there, and how that emanates out for you, and other people see that, you see that. But as we make these changes in ourselves, it's not so much that we're wanting or other people to see it necessarily, but other people, notice it, and they may make a comment, or they may not, or people may may not be in your space, but other new people coming in. So as you're making some, shifts and changes in your life, and that's okay. I feel like that's why they're talking about it, and that's okay, where they're saying it's like, and that's okay. But it's about whether you see it as that. So they just say, like, with this perspective and these changes here, but this is about speaking your truth, communicating your truth, not only to others but to yourself. But it's also being mindful how you communicate with others. It may be that on saying that, because it's not like because what I'm hearing is it's saying it in a way, or communicating in a way where you're not going to feel bad about it, guilty about it, but it's like being in that space. It's like, what, I say this with love and with peace, with harmony, and with joy, and not in a way to hurt you, and that's anybody at all. It's like, just okay, peace and love, you know, within that, and but also explaining things to people in a specific way where it's like to the point. I feel like they're talking about clarity, you know, with clarity, and, you know, and concise as possible. But there's not, you know, sometimes you can say something and have the best intentions behind what you say, and some people aren't going to listen or hear it. I feel like that's where they're going with it, and then other people are just going to get it, and they're not going to. It's not going to be a big problem or anything. They understand that, and they're not going to make a big fuss about it. But I feel like it's like doing it in such a way where you're not feeling guilty or putting yourself down and all that sort of thing. So you don't hurt yourself basically in doing that, because what they're saying is, you know, do it in such a way where you feel like you would like to hear it from others. That's where they're being mindful. Do unto those how you would do unto yourself, basically. So I feel like there's a sense of learning here, or a shift and a change as well, and wanting to learn something. Also going back to this Page of Cups, they're talking about learning something here as well. You know, there's new skills that you're learning, because, you know, about yourself and others and around the world as well. I think they're talking about I feel like they're talking about being, you know, looking at the bigger picture of things, but there's a new journey, a new beginning, a new sense of a phase in how you think about things as well, coming through this, and, you know, and planning something new, moving on. Well, it's getting really hot in here. It wasn't as hot as the last two readings, but my space is a bit warm at the moment, and I want to turn the fan on, but it's a little bit, it'll make noise, and I'm trying to decrease the noise in the videos in the background, but and there may be something about you decreasing the noise in the background with you as well, on that, you know, on the mental emotional level as well, which is kind of where they're going here. Is like, once we, you know, get out what we need to get out, and honor ourselves, but also honor the other people or the situation or experiences as well. You know, this is about honoring yourself and getting it out, and so you can overcome these difficulties, and that remember who you are, and bringing things in divine order, and seeing it as that, and accepting these gifts from God as well. The Three of Wands is like on a journey. So I feel like you've figured something out. You'll figure something out, and you'll end up, allowing yourself to go on this path, because here's this, like, you know, you're seeing something. And see, this path is lit up, and see that beautiful deer in the distance there, in the distance, the near distance. It's like, okay, and it's light and it's beautiful. So it's like lighting up the path, basically, showing you something. So I wouldn't be so surprised if something turns up there, and seeing things from a different order with the Hanged Man there, in a different way, or a new perspective. You know, and I'm hearing upside down, turning things around, you know, because there's, you know, there is going to be, you know, because we can think all blah, blah, blah when something negative or supposedly negative comes up, or something's not turning right, but what are we going to do about it? Because here's success here with the Emperor. So the success for me is, I feel like like they're saying that this is their success, not just in business and, you know, health and well-being and all that, but bringing all that king energy, because that's like the Emperor to me is having, you know, all those gifts and abilities that all the kings have, you know, with the King of Swords, you know, being, you know, and, you know, having understanding about being quite clear and concise, but also firm and fair, with, you know, and how he communicates with people, being decisive and knowing, you know, himself enough to make a decision, and that's it, or stick with it. But knowing also there is versatility around that, if, you know, later on for change. And that the King of Wands, you know, there's that spontaneity, but also who's not, you know, willing, not willing to necessarily hold back, but take a risk, but a calculated one, not just a willy-nilly one. So you know what I mean. So and having that motivation and just giving things a go, that, you know, feeling, okay, if it works, it works, if it doesn't, it doesn't, at least I gave it a go, and then moving on, and but learning from that and taking those tools into the next phase, and, you know, of next adventure of what he's going to do, you know. And the king of, you know, the King of Cups, being in that space of, you know, through the journey of taking on, being on that knowledge, through the journey that he's been on, and being in that centered, calm space, and you know, that inner deep, and, you know, knowing and how, you know, to work with emotions and intuition, and understanding the difference in the two, and how to apply it, and, you know, especially with emotions, and, you know, figuring out all that stuff, and, you know, am I letting my emotions getting away with me? No, maybe yes. And what is that emotion about? And, you know, that discovery. So he's more knowing about that stuff, and securing himself in that way, as with the other kings, securing what they do. The King of Pentacles is, you know, he's worked, and he's put, you know, he's a worker and a hard worker. Not saying the others aren't, but there's a difference. Him, and there's brings in that groundedness, that centeredness, and that anchoring, and, you know, into what he's wanting to build, that foundation and create in his life, with stability and foundation, not just, you know, for family, and for friends, and, you know, but also career and financial side of things, but also the health and well-being side of things on a wider perspective. So he's like bringing all that energy in. So, but there's that leadership in him. I wasn't meaning to go that far with that, but there's obviously some of you that may have needed to hear that, you know. Okay, then these three have come out. So the Seven of Cups, you know, knowing what your dreams are, heading towards them. So, you know, sometimes, and that can be the thing that pushes, and this is why this Emperor's come through now, is going, you know, for what you want, not what you don't want, and you have all the skills to create what it is, or bring it forth. Ace of Cups is like, you know what, being, you know, that's in a way a gift. I'm seeing, you know, there's a new beginning in the way, and shifting your perspective about that, you know, where you're going. So interesting. Before this card come out for Aquarius as well, and initially when I looked at it, it looked like the you know, the gold was going into the cauldron, or these rocks were going into the cauldron. But I took a closer look at it again, and they showed me in a way that actually these are some of the ingredients that, you know, that they were put in the cauldron that are coming out. You can turn it into gold. So it's like, when we shift our perspective about what things might look to be like, or seemingly be, it can, you know, we can shift it around, and shift our mindset, or our perspective around, and seeing something as positive rather than just negative. Okay. And this is like Four of Pentacles, is trusting your instincts. I feel like this card is talking about here. So, and where you are feeling like you're needing to go, be, give and have in your life, in this new adventure that's opening up. And it's like, yeah, really trusting your instincts. Because what I'm hearing here, what I'm seeing here and hearing is like, you know, because he's got this blindfold on, and yes, he's moving around and on his hands and his knees, but he's like having to listen to his other senses, not just, you know, having that, you know, feeling like you have to see what is there. So having faith and trusting your instincts, but being grounded in that. So ground yourself and trusting your instincts. Okay. I'm just going to leave that there now for you, Pisces. Yeah, I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that has helped you, you know, in moving forward, or moving on in whichever, you know, whatever is going on with you. And we send you with this message and this reading and the energy here, the healing energy that's been brought here as well, with lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, adventure, and prosperity and abundance. Okay. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy in here. So, yeah, awesome. And we'll see you probably next week with the February reads for 2022. Okay, bye for now.